How does storytelling help with children's emotional and social development? Well, just start by thinking about your favourite story. Comes to mind. How did it make you feel when you were telling it, reading it together, thinking about it? Was there anything you learnt from it? And did it make you behave or think in a different way? Because we are all meaning makers, and we make sense of our lives through developing stories about it. In fact, people with more coherent stories, so organised narratives about their experiences, have had more secure attachment relationships. It's not necessarily what happened to you, it's how you make sense of it. So one of the aims of my therapeutic work is to help children develop a more coherent, non-shaming story about their experiences. When they understand what has happened to them without feeling at fault, their emotional well-being is much better. Not surprisingly, there are huge benefits to reading with children to support their imagination, creativity, well-being, problem-solving, social and emotional understanding. With the world often being confusing and overwhelming for young children, stories can help them understand what is expected of them and how experiences made them feel. They can help them feel prepared for what lies ahead. So sharing together, stories offer a window into different worlds, different characters and different situations. Children gain loads from story time, not least the sense of bonding and closeness when a story is shared and enjoyed one-on-one. Reading aloud together can help to develop more secure attachment relationships between child and carer, aid brain development, and improve emotional and social skills. For many of us, sharing and reading books was an important part of childhood, even more so before the advent of distracting screens and 24/7 streaming. I have fond memories of curling up in bed half asleep with my mother or father as they read to me, complete with silly voices and giggles aplenty. A 2018 research study found that nowadays only 30% of parents read to their children daily, and I can't help but feel that's quite sad. Especially given the many benefits of sharing story time, it goes far beyond pure entertainment. Reading together, storytelling together, helps children with their sense of self, their understanding of the world, making sense of other people's thoughts and feelings, understanding rules and behaviours that might be expected. And this is great when you see a story that starts with a challenge that's then resolved. It helps children develop that framework around managing difficulties. Stories obviously improve language and vocabulary and encourage a love of reading in later life. We can experience comfort through beloved characters and familiar stories, and we have opportunities to discuss tricky behaviours or emotions, experiences, such as the loss of close relatives or breakdowns of families. It's really helpful, I think, for children to realise they are not alone in finding some things challenging, and storytelling is key for this. It's important not just to read to children, but also with them. And that's why I wrote Bartley's books. So these are interactive stories, and they provide so many opportunities to co-create narratives around children's experiences and feelings. They help parents and children understand what's going on, and you can find a common language to work together to make tricky situations less difficult, whilst being fun and engaging at the same time. Not surprisingly, because I love the PACE model, that's what they're grounded in. That attachment-focused parenting approach that I draw on in my clinical work. Bartley's books are all about normal developmental situations, which can be confusing and bring up big feelings. So there's one about separation anxiety, one about anger, oops, that's that one, one about anger, and one about going to bed. And they provide a platform to discuss these outside of the time they are happening, so they're not overwhelmed by those big feelings. And they have a lift the flap interactive element. Psychologically, this represents a window into a child's internal world, and it includes prompter questions for parents to ask the children about their own experiences, not just that of the child. Parents have reported that the stories have helped them and their little ones connect over things that were tricky. It's helped them work together, and they found coping strategies on some of the things that we're finding difficult, reducing big feelings that were previously hard to tolerate. If you want to hear more about the background to those stories, it can be found in my parenting handbook. Never underestimate the power of storytelling and the importance of making meaning out of ours and our children's lives.